Liverpool's €40 million swoop for Víctor Muñoz. Full breakdown of Irala's first signing, winger line rebuild, and ultimate risk analysis. Hello everyone, and welcome back to today's in-depth transfer rating show. On June 19th, a dramatic deal was officially confirmed in the Premier League summer window. Liverpool activated the full €40 million release clause to sign 22-year-old Spanish international winger Víctor Muñoz from Osasuna, snatching the player right out of Newcastle United's hands at the last minute. As the deal was finalized, reports continued to circulate that Liverpool are still pushing hard to sign RB Leipzig striker Yan Diomande. This series of moves officially kicks off Liverpool's forward line reinforcement under new manager Andoni Iraola. Why did Liverpool step in halfway to hijack the deal from Newcastle? What level is 22-year-old Muñoz really at, and is he worth €40 million? How big a role did new boss Iraola play in this transfer? And how will this signing shape Liverpool's forward recruitment plans going forward?
Full transaction overview. What Osasuna receives: €40 million in full release clause payment, with no additional add-ons. Real Madrid holds a 50% sell-on clause for the player, and will receive €20 million directly from this transfer. Real Madrid also retains a first refusal right on any future sale. What Liverpool receives: 22-year-old Spanish international winger Víctor Muñoz. The player completed his full medical on Wednesday afternoon local time in the U.S. at the Spanish national team's World Cup base camp, with the official announcement made on June 19th. Muñoz will sign a long-term 6-year contract with Liverpool and will officially join the squad at the end of the summer after the World Cup. This is the first signing of Liverpool manager Andoni Iraola's tenure. Iraola's deep knowledge of La Liga and the player himself was the key driving force behind pushing the deal through. Newcastle United had been in advanced negotiations with Osasuna and the players' camp for several days before Liverpool intervened midway and activated the release clause directly to complete the hijack.
2. Player individual rating. Víctor Muñoz. Overall grade: Bite Plus. First, to answer the question on everyone's mind, Muñoz's primary position is left winger, but he is also capable of playing right winger, second striker, and even center forward. This versatility is one of the core reasons Liverpool value him so highly. Player profile. Víctor Muñoz, 22 years old, stands 1.73 meters tall and weighs 71 kilograms. Primary position: left winger. Alternative positions: right winger, second striker, center forward. Transfer history: joined Real Madrid in 2021, moved to Osasuna in summer 2025, transferred to Liverpool in summer 2026. Career total stats: 107 appearances, 20 goals, 12 assists. International stats: 2 senior caps for Spain, 1 goal scored on his senior debut. Honors: nominated for 2025 to 2026 La Liga Under-23 Player of the Season. First active player in Osasuna history to be named in Spain's World Cup squad. Current market value: €30 million. 2. Core strengths. Muñoz is not a ready-made starter for a top club, but he possesses 3 rare core traits that fit Iraola's tactics perfectly. Against the backdrop of Liverpool's need to refresh their forward line, his age, upside, and positional versatility give this deal significant long-term value. First, elite pace and explosiveness on the wing, A- grade. This is Muñoz's biggest selling point, bar none. Labeled with the player trait Speed Merchant on the pitch, he is a classic wide outlet player. He has rapid footwork and sharp changes of direction, can beat his marker with the first step in one-on-one situations, and is extremely hard to contain on the counterattack at full speed. He has already proven his wide threat in La Liga, and Iraola's tactics place huge emphasis on wide progression speed. This is where the two sides are a perfect match. Second,
well-rounded technique from 2 elite academies, plus elite positional versatility, A- grade. This is the point many people overlook, and a major reason he caught Liverpool's eye. A background in La Masia's possession football, plus the structured development of Real Madrid's academy, have given him extremely solid fundamentals. His close control is strong, and he is not the kind of raw pace merchant who only runs blindly with the ball. What makes him even more valuable is his positional flexibility. Beyond his main role on the left, he can play on the right, as a second striker, and even lead the line as a centre forward. Of his career goals with recorded positions, 10 came from the centre forward spot, proving he is not just a pure wide player. He can cut inside to finish, or even fill in through the middle. He also has a strong work rate, is willing to track back and defend, and has great team spirit, fully meeting the modern defensive requirements for wingers. Third, explosive growth trajectory and big game mentality, B+ grade. Muñoz's rise has been extremely rapid. Just 1 year ago, he was still a Real Madrid B-team player, with a market value of only a few million euros. After 1 season as a regular starter at Osasuna in 2025 to 2026, his value skyrocketed to 30 million euros, ranking 28th globally among players of his age. Even more notable is his big game composure. He earned his first senior Spain cap in March 2026, came off the bench, and scored just 9 minutes later to seal the win for his country. This ability to deliver immediately on debut is extremely rare for a young player, and proves he has the potential to perform under high-pressure situations.
3. Key weaknesses, C- grade flaws. The biggest debate around his 40 million euro price tag. Muñoz's weaknesses are just as clear as his strengths, and they are very real. This is the core reason we give him a B+ and not an A grade. First, severe lack of physical strength and aerial ability, C- grade. This is his most fatal flaw. At 1.73 meters with a slender build, he is at a major disadvantage in physical duels. In La Liga, where the pace is slower and technique is prioritized, he can avoid physical battles with movement and skill. But in the Premier League, where fullbacks are physically strong and apply tight, aggressive marking, it remains a huge unknown whether he can maintain his technique under high-intensity contact or hold his own against physical challenges. Second, modest finishing efficiency and limited creativity in settled play, C- grade. Muñoz's shooting is only above average, far from the level of an elite finisher. In the 2025 to 2026 season, he scored only 7 goals in 36 appearances across all competitions, not a high output for a starting wide player. At the same time, his ability to unlock deep defenses is limited. He excels at exploiting space on the counterattack, but struggles to create chances in small spaces against low blocks. With many mid-table and lower Premier League teams specializing in deep defending, his consistency against weaker sides remains unproven. On the assist side, he recorded only 5 assists all season, a modest return for a winger, with room for improvement in his build-up play and link-up ability. Third, severe lack of top-flight and big club experience, C- grade. Muñoz has only 1 full season as a starter in a top European league, 2025 to 2026, with a very small sample size at the highest domestic level. He made only 4 first-team appearances for Real Madrid, with no experience as a regular at a top club, and no playing time in elite European competition like the Champions League. Moving from a mid-table La Liga side straight to a Premier League giant is a huge jump in status and pressure. It remains very much up in the air whether he can handle the spotlight and performance pressure of a big club, or maintain his form across a high-intensity, multi-competition schedule. 4. The overlooked underlying risk, growth environment risks. Muñoz does not have a documented history of frequent injuries, but he faces 2 very real growth risks that will directly determine the success of this investment. The first is game time risk.
Liverpool currently have a deep forward squad, with Gakpo, Isak, and Ikataiki all ahead in the pecking order. Muñoz will most likely start his Liverpool career coming off the bench. At 22, he is at an age where consistent minutes are critical for development. If he cannot nail down a starting spot long-term, his upward trajectory could stall completely, and his market value could fall rather than rise. The second is league adaptation risk. The Premier League and La Liga operate at completely different tempos, physical intensities, and refereeing standards. Many technical La Liga players have struggled to adapt after moving to England. Muñoz's technical style is agile and skill-based, making his ability to adjust to the Premier League's physicality and high-tempo transition play the biggest variable in this deal. Final individual player rating, B+. To sum up, Muñoz is a prospect winger with very clear strengths and weaknesses. He has elite pace and explosiveness, solid technical foundations, positional versatility, a rapid rise trajectory, and a strong big-game mentality. But he has a clear physical weakness, modest finishing output, and very limited top-flight and big club experience. If he adapts smoothly to the Premier League and earns consistent minutes, he has the potential to reach A- grade and become a core part of Liverpool's forward line. But if he fails to adapt or spends too long on the bench without fulfilling his talent, he risks becoming an expensive backup with dwindling investment value. 3. Osasuna. Rating, B. A profitable prospect cash-in. We give Osasuna a B grade. For a mid-table La Liga side, this is a deal fully aligned with their business model. While they lose a key starter, they receive a substantial financial return, and the whole process was triggered passively by the release clause, with little room for negotiation. 1. Core reasons Osasuna had to sell. First, release clause activated directly. No room to refuse. Liverpool directly activated Muñoz's €40 million release clause. By rule, as long as the player agrees, Osasuna has no right to refuse and no room to negotiate a higher fee. Forcing the player to stay would not only fail, but would also damage his mindset and disrupt the dressing room, making a clean break the better option. Second, aligns with the club's develop prospects, sell high business model. As a mid-table La Liga club, Osasuna's operating model is to sign young players at low cost, develop them, and sell them on for a high fee when their value peaks. Muñoz was signed only last summer, and after just one season, his value has multiplied many times over. This is a textbook low-buy, high-sell deal that fits their strategy perfectly. 2. Osasuna's profit calculation. Let's break down the numbers clearly. Muñoz joined Osasuna from Real Madrid last summer for a base fee of €5 million plus add-ons. Sale revenue, €40 million full release clause. Share owed to Real Madrid, €20 million. Net profit, approximately €15 million. That is a 3 times return on investment in just one season, an extremely strong return for a small to mid-size club. Furthermore, as the first active Osasuna player ever named to a World Cup squad, selling Muñoz also strengthens the club's reputation as a developer of international caliber players, which will help them attract more young talent in the future. 3. The only risk for Osasuna. The only risk of this deal for Osasuna is losing their starting winger right before pre-season, which disrupts their summer preparation plans. The club will need to find a suitable replacement in a short window or risk a slow start to the new season. But with significant transfer funds available, this risk is fully manageable. Veer. Liverpool rating, A-. A precise, decisive prospect investment, built for Iraola's tactics. We give Liverpool an A- grade. This is the first signing of the Iraola era. Targeted, decisively executed, adding depth to the forward line while building for the future, though there are also notable risks that cannot be ignored. 1. Why did Liverpool hijack Muñoz? 3 core logics of the Iraola era. First, full backing from manager Iraola. Perfect tactical fit.
Iraola was the driving force behind this deal. It was his in-depth knowledge and strong advocacy that pushed Liverpool to accelerate their interest from a watching brief and complete the hijack. Iraola has worked in La Liga for many years and knows Muñoz's style and character inside out, as well as exactly how to use him. Muñoz's pace, versatility, and defensive work rate align perfectly with what Iraola wants. He is a manager-signed player, meaning the tactical fit is guaranteed, with no risk of signing a player who does not suit the coach's system.
Second, perfect age profile, friendly amortization, aligned with long-term squad building. Many people only see the €40 million fee and miss the bigger financial picture. At only 22 years old, Muñoz has signed a 6-year contract. The fee amortized over 6 years makes for a very low annual cost, and since the player is right in his prime development window, his market value will keep rising if he performs, making this an investment that adds both current depth and future upside. By comparison, signing an established star would cost more in transfer fees, come with a shorter contract and higher annual amortization, and offer no resale upside. For a club that needs to compete now while building for the future, this is a very cost-effective investment. Third, dual need for forward line renewal and multi-competition depth. The club must compete across the Premier League, Champions League, and domestic cups, while also planning ahead for the long-term renewal of their wide positions. Muñoz's arrival provides rotation cover, spreads the minutes load, and gives the club a long-term successor to develop. His ability to play multiple positions also gives the coach more tactical flexibility to adapt to different opponents and injury situations. 2. 4 core risks for Liverpool. Why only an A-? This is the part we must state objectively. This deal is not a guaranteed success, and any of these 4 risks could undermine its value. First, transfer fee premium risk. Muñoz's current market value is €30 million, and Liverpool paid €40 million via release clause, a 33% premium. Since it was a release clause deal with no room for negotiation, they paid the full market price. For a young player with only 1 season of top-flight starting experience, this is a high price tag. If he fails to live up to his potential, it will go down as an overpriced deal. Second, Premier League adaptation risk. This is the core uncertainty. Muñoz's technical style is agile and light on physicality, and it remains to be seen whether he can handle the Premier League's intense physical battles and high-tempo transitions. There are countless examples of technical La Liga players struggling after moving to England, and if he fails to adapt, that €40 million investment will likely go to waste. Third, growth risk from insufficient game time. Liverpool's forward line is extremely competitive, with Gakpo, Isak, Ikataike, and others all ahead in the pecking order. As a new arrival, it will be very hard for Muñoz to walk straight into the starting lineup. If he is limited to substitute appearances in cup games long-term, without consistent minutes, his development will slow dramatically. His value will not rise, it may even fall, and the investment will not deliver returns. Fourth, limited upside from Real Madrid's sell-on clause and first refusal right. Real Madrid holds a 50% sell-on clause and a first refusal right. That means if Liverpool sell Muñoz in the future, half the proceeds go to Real Madrid, and if he develops into a top star, Real Madrid can match any offer to buy him back first. In effect, Liverpool put in all the work to develop him, but only get half the financial upside. The ceiling of return on this investment is directly capped. V. Transfer ripple effects. Newcastle's failed move and summer window dominoes. Many people ask, now that Liverpool have hijacked Muñoz, what will Newcastle do? And how does this affect Liverpool's other transfer targets? Let's break it all down clearly. First, Newcastle United. Having come so close to signing their target only to lose out at the last minute, their wide recruitment plan has been derailed, and they must now restart their search for alternatives. Newcastle already had forward reinforcement plans this summer, and missing out on Muñoz means they will either have to raise their offer for other targets or switch to different players, affecting both the timeline and cost of their summer business. Second, the pursuit of Diamande. Liverpool have officially confirmed that signing Muñoz and chasing Diamande are separate matters. Muñoz is a wide signing. Diamande is a centre-forward target. Their positions do not overlap. RB Leipzig are currently reluctant to sell, and Liverpool remain in ongoing talks. Muñoz's arrival will not make Liverpool abandon their centre-forward reinforcement plans. Finally, forward line departures. Muñoz's arrival increases Liverpool's forward depth, raising the likelihood of some fringe players leaving the club. The team can adjust the squad flexibly based on further signings, offload surplus wages, and further optimize the squad structure.
Why? Final summary. Finally, let's wrap up with a full recap and reconfirm our final ratings. Víctor Muñoz, individual player. B+ strengths. Elite pace and explosiveness. Solid technique from 2 elite academies. Strong positional versatility. Rapid growth trajectory. Excellent big game mentality. Weaknesses. Clear physical deficiency. Modest finishing efficiency. Limited top flight and big club experience. Outlook. If he adapts well to the Premier League and earns consistent minutes, he has the potential to become an elite Premier League-wide threat. If he fails to adapt or lacks game time, he will most likely become an expensive rotational player. Osasuna. B. This is a profitable transfer deal aligned with the mid-sized club's business logic. The club had their players' release clause triggered, losing their starting winger but securing a major transfer fee, delivering a strong return on investment and boosting their reputation for developing international players. The only risk is a pre-season squad gap, but with ample funds to sign a replacement, the risk is manageable. Liverpool, A-, is a cost-effective prospect signing and the first step in building Iraola's squad. The deal is targeted and decisively executed, with the manager's backing guaranteeing tactical fit. It adds immediate forward depth, plans for long-term renewal of the attack, and also weakens a rival by hijacking their target. But the fee carries a premium, and there are real risks around Premier League adaptation, development trajectory, and Real Madrid's contractual rights. If Diamande joins successfully and Muñoz adapts quickly to the Premier League, this deal's rating could rise to an A. If the player fails to adapt and does not perform long-term, the rating would fall to B or lower. All in all, this is a transfer where all sides get what they want. Osasuna gets a sizable financial return. Liverpool gets a young prospect who fits their tactical plan, and Muñoz gets the chance to play for a Premier League giant. Liverpool will now push forward full steam with the Diamande transfer, with more signings expected this summer window. We will continue to follow all developments and bring you the most professional, accurate, in-depth analysis. All right, that wraps up today's in-depth transfer rating. If you found this analysis helpful, don't forget to like, follow, and share. We bring you the most professional football news and deep analysis every single day. Next episode, we will break down the latest updates on Liverpool's pursuit of Diamande, plus a full squad preview of Liverpool's new season under Iraola. See you next time.